Now we are joined via Zoom by political analyst Professor Bheki Mngomezulu. Prof, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Now, there's now confirmation by the public protector, as we've heard in that clip, that it will investigate the president for allegedly breaching the code of ethics, and that the investigation itself will be completed within a month in line with the Executive Member Ethics Act. So will and can an ANC president be charged on government work? Help us understand how this will all likely to unfold.
No, thank you very much for that question, Sisunati. Our point of departure should be the Constitution, which is a sacrosanct document that guides all of us, including the President and his executive, and of course, members of Parliament. So in this case, if an allegation has been laid against an individual, then the public protector is in fact forced by law to look into that matter. Once she has satisfied herself that the matter is worth investigating, she has to conduct an investigation, come up with a report, and then of course make some recommendations. So in this case, I think that the Office of the Public Protector, through Advocate Mbusiso Mkhwebane, should be commended for abiding by the law. We know that historically she has come up with a number of results from different investigations. And then, of course, some people took those results or those judgments under review. That is within their right to do so. But as things stand right now, what the public protector has decided to do is in accordance with the law. And she doesn't have to look at who the person is. She just has to look at what the issues are and deal with the issues and forget about the personalities.
Now, I mean, you raised the Constitution, and it actually is of concern that our understanding is that only the public protector is empowered by the Constitution, in fact, to investigate the head of the executive. So where does that then place a scope? I mean, you heard in our intro saying that it looks like this will be a two-pronged investigation, against the president, if I can use those words, because we also know that Mervyn Dirks has also written to the acting Chief Justice Raymond Zondo regarding the president's failure to acknowledge about the misuse of public funds in the commission. So we have this understanding that the public protector is the only one mandated by the Constitution to look into this. So where does SCOPA then and the Zondo Commission come into play?
That's a very interesting question. In fact, with regards to the Zondo Commission, I don't think it should arise. The issue should arise because the Zondo Commission, in my understanding, has come to an end. Right now, Deputy Chief Justice Zondo is busy compiling his report. He has already released the 874-page part 1 of the report, and is busy with the other 2 parts. So to take the matter to the Zondo Commission, I don't think that is going to serve any purpose at this stage. With regards to SCOPA, Honorable Mkhuleko Hlengwa has been saddled with the responsibility to oversee that office. And there are rules and regulations that guide that office. So now that Mervyn Dirks has submitted a letter to Mkhuleko Hlengwa, in fact, indicating that there is something untoward, at least in his view, which the president might have done in the audio that circulated, which we have all heard, by the way. Then, of course, it will be up to Mkhuleko Hlengwa to then look into the rules that guide SCOPA and then see if indeed it's within his right to summon the president to come and explain himself. My understanding at this stage is that SCOPA has given the president 10 days to explain his side of the story, on the basis of which a determination will then be made by Mkhuleko Hlengwa and his team to see if indeed they'll have to subpoena the president to appear before him. As to whether that happens or not, will be informed by the question you have just asked, as to who has the responsibility to do that. We know that for all members of parliament, they can appear before SCOPA. As for the president, I'm not too sure at the moment, but then of course, as I say, Honorable Hlengwa will have to look into the rules that guide his office and then will act accordingly. But the public protector, as things stand, she has done what she was supposed to do. Had she not done this, of course, there would have been questions asked as to why she didn't act once Dersk had submitted this particular case before her. So I think that everything at the moment doesn't look like there is anything untoward that is happening. For me, everything is above board, at least for now.
And if you talk about everything being above board, I mean, the question still does arise in terms of the timing and the politics around this matter. You know, the complainant to the Public Protector's Office was made on Wednesday, a day after suspended ANC MP Mervyn Dirks appeared before Scopa, you know, and Dirks went on to say, you know, that he had summoned, he'd urged the committee to summon the President Ramaphosa for, you know, for his remarks on that leaked video. So the question is around the timing. You know, should we be concerned? Should we concern ourselves around the timing, particularly as it relates to the ANC in terms of what this year just means for them in terms of the elective conference, but also just, you know, the timing around the electioneering, as it were, in terms of, you know, the pro-Ramaphosa camp and, of course, the pro-Zuma camp?
You know what, my sister, this question is very interesting. Coincidentally, I just submitted a piece today on this very issue, which will come in a couple of days' time. For me, the bottom line here is that we have to distinguish between the ANC as an organization and the ANC as the governing party. So it doesn't matter whether the ANC is going for an elective conference in December 2022 or is going to a conference in December 2028. It just doesn't matter. That one should not be an issue because that is a party matter. What we're talking about here are issues that concern South Africans in general, and then, of course, our government as an institution, because the president of the ANC happens to be the president of the country. So what seems to have happened in this case, some might say it's a party issue, given the fact that the audio happened in a meeting of the ANC, not of government. So basically then in that case, it means that the president was affected as the leader of the ANC, not the leader of government. However, because he holds both positions as the president of the party and the president of the country, then that is why government is brought in here. So the fact that the timing becomes an issue to some people, for me, that should not be an issue, because then what it means is that we are dealing with one issue that has been presented to Scopa and that has been presented to the office of the Deputy Chief Justice who led the Zondo Commission. And then, of course, the issue now is also being considered elsewhere. So the point here is that we should not be worried. We should not, in fact, be hysterical about this thing, because it is the same person who's presenting these documents. So then, in all likelihood, he might present all of them in one day or one day after the other. So that shouldn't be a problem. What should be of concern to us is the substance of the letter that Mervyn Dirks has written to Scopa and has also written to the Office of the Public Protector, not the other issues that concern the ANC as an organization.
Professor Mngomezulu, thank you so much for your time. Always a pleasure speaking to you here on the show.